The Oak Island team is pursuing a new location for their treasure hunt, aiming to uncover the hidden treasure. They have discovered human bones deep underground, one from Europe and one from the Middle East, after 200 years. The team believes that these bones might be closer than ever old tools, and they are heading straight for the spot where someone may have died to guard the vault deeper than ever. The team began by digging into the infamous Shaft 6 in the 1800s during one of the many failed treasure hunts. They believed that the collapse might have buried the goods, but what they hit next made the legend look tame. In 1861, the Oak Island Association drilled deep into the earth and claimed they struck 2 treasure chests stacked like a sandwich at around 110 feet down. Before they could high-five each other, the island flooded them out with a man-made flood tunnel, filled the shaft with seawater, turning the operation into a soggy disaster. RP-1 was different, pulling out old iron straps that looked like chest bindings. A pipe stem dated to the late 1600s pushed the timeline back an entire century as RP-2 descended past 100 feet. Things got weird in all the right ways, hitting wood, timbers, and pipes. The broken barrel stave, a thin, curved plank unmistakably from a barrel, fits the story like a glove. The team's strategy now is tight controlled, calculated, and aimed at the precise stretch of tunnel believed to have once carried the treasure before everything fell apart. If it's still intact, it will be the first time in over a century anyone has breached it. The artifacts from RP-1 and RP-2 are undergoing lab analysis. The pipe stem turns out to be Dutch, blowing the timeline wide open. Dutch traders were known for moving coins, spices, and weaponry in bulk, often stashed in barrels. The keg stave and pipe are evidence of movement of intent of people with something to hide, placing Oak Island right in the middle of something bigger than just pirate gold or old scrolls. Oak Island is a mysterious island where people have been digging for over 200 years, searching for a hidden treasure. The team has been digging for over 1,000 times in borehole H8, a little patch of dirt known for wasting time and giving answers. However, when they found the core, it was bone, real bone, and human remains. The team shipped the fragments to St. Mary's in Halifax, and when the results came back, the tone in the war room shifted. One set of bones came from European expectations, but another Middle Eastern origin. This single revelation cracked the lid off every theory this island has been drowning in for decades. The team expanded the dig radius around H8, scanning every inch with ground-penetrating radar, high-res borehole cameras, soil cores tested and double-tested. While no more bodies surfaced, the artifacts did not match colonial standards. Tools that didn't match colonial standards were found, as well as ceramic fragments with burn patterns unfamiliar to any local process. A rusted hilt, possibly from a sword twisted with time, but unmistakably forged in a style that didn't belong. A cross, not large or flashy, but a tiny sliver of metal tucked in the mud, had markings not fully Latin, clearly Arabic, some strange in-between symbols that blurred cultures. A secret handshake etched in metal was a message experts clashed hard over. One camp swore it was a Crusader cross adapted through cultural drift. Another group insisted it was Phoenician. Some outliers even brought up early Coptic Christian influences. The money pit might not be just a trap, it might have been a tomb or prison. Old records were torn apart, and a small note stuck out a mention of a foreign engineer named CM. When fed the symbols through new AI-powered decryption software, parts started making more sense, with characters resembling ancient Semitic scripts close to Phoenician or early Hebrew. Oak Island is always leaked, and when it leaks, message boards exploded. It's unclear whether this is a hidden sect, a Templar tomb, or proof of pre-Columbian contact people. Oak Island.
In the past, it is conceivable that the Knights Templar traveled to, or even resided on the island. The discovery that the bolt dates to the 13th century enhances the historical significance of the object and situates it within the larger context of the island's history. This discovery adds to the growing body of evidence, suggesting that Oak Island was the site of a significant event in the island's past. The discovery of Nolan's cross on Oak Island has also sparked widespread speculation regarding the possible role of the Knights Templar in the annals of the island. However, additional research is necessary to fully comprehend the effects of these discoveries. This occurrence serves as a cautionary reminder to approach stories of unexpected discoveries with a skeptical mindset. There are many variables that can affect the veracity and dependability of such stories, but it is possible to stumble upon something genuinely exceptional. It may be challenging to determine the veracity of these reports, because they could be the result of anything from pranks and misunderstandings to blatant fabrications. As more of the money pit was excavated, a complex network of tunnels and passages, as well as numerous artifacts and intriguing objects, were uncovered. Since then, a large number of daring explorers have traveled to the location in the hopes of unearthing the legendary treasures that are said to be buried there, thereby putting an end to the mystery encircling the location. Despite the numerous expeditions and excavations that have been conducted, the money pit remains a tantalizing enigma that entices the daring and the curious to uncover its secrets. This ancient tale recounts a story of daring deeds, treacherous plots, and the pursuit of wealth beyond one's wildest ambitions. Recently, the Lagena brothers and their crew discovered an incredible discovery while metal detecting on Money Pit Island. The discovery of a keyhole in the shape of an intricate floral design raises the prospect that it belonged to one of Captain James Anderson's 3 missing treasure chests. The discovery of this keyhole has added a new element of mystery to the Oak Island legend, and it has piqued our interest in the location of the island's fabled buried treasure. With each new discovery, the mystery surrounding Oak Island deepens, heightening our sense of wonder and awe in relation to this intriguing historical site. In the late 1800s, while conducting investigations, the Oak Island Treasure Company discovered what appeared to be cement 153 feet beneath the surface. Nonetheless, what they subsequently discovered was far more startling than they had anticipated. They dug deeply and uncovered a fragment of parchment that has the potential to alter our view of the history of literature. There is a theory that this parchment contains some lost writings by the famous playwright William Shakespeare, who may have deposited it there. It is possible that it was left there, which lends credence to this theory. During the 16th century, Francis Bacon was active in science, literature, and exploration. Some people believe he was Shakespeare's true author. If this theory proves out to be true, it could force us to reevaluate one of the most famous authors in literary history. In addition, intriguing discoveries have been made on Oak Island that are associated with a person named Samuel. People have begun to speculate that he may have been involved in searching for treasure on the island. Sign up now for more astounding scientific discoveries. Samuel Ball was born in South Carolina into servitude, but he served the British throughout the American Revolution. The story of Samuel Ball is intriguing. Once he made the decision, he ultimately relocated to Nova Scotia and purchased property on Oak Island. The discovery of coins, buttons, and a fragment of a revolver on Lot 24 piqued the public's interest, leading them to speculate that Ball may have been involved in the treasure hunt. The meaning of these artifacts is currently unknown, but they may cast light on Ball's activities while he was on the island. Nevertheless, Oak Island is renowned for its mysteries, and it's possible that there are even more mysteries waiting to be uncovered. Therefore, we must continue our inquiry to comprehend what these artifacts discovered on Ball's land.
And that there must be a structure connected to it during their exploits. The crew is thrilled about discovering this wood, which may indicate a previously undiscovered tunnel that might be crucially essential. Scott and Gary discover a spike that looks to be from the 1600s or even earlier. It is free of fasteners, which suggests it might have originated from somewhere else, perhaps the side or lid of a chest. Gary Drayton speculates that this spike may be from the 17th century or earlier and may be connected to a potential container. If this is the case, what else might the team discover at the bottom of Aladdin's cave during the excavation of the AC-1 shaft? The spike's wood-like grain structure and striking array of angles suggest that it is a rose head, and its square cross-section suggests that it was hand-forged rather than machine-cut. Its composition is minimal, with a high content of phosphorus and sulfur, suggesting an English origin, while the potassium content throughout suggests a furnace that burned charcoal rather than coal. There are a number of theories that explain the period between the 1600s and 1750. One theory is that Sir William Phipps, who was present in the round feature on Lot 5, may have been a resident of the island since the money pit was first constructed in 1687. Captain William Phipps found the wreck of the Conchian, a Spanish treasure galleon that sank off the coast of the present-day Dominican Republic in 1641. After recovering 34 tons of silver, Phipps was told to return for the remaining valuables. However, when he and his assistant, a high-ranking Freemason named Andrew Belcher, finished the second salvage operation, They reported that locals had looted the wreck and recovered only 5 more tons of treasure. According to 32 Inderi Freemason, a 1688 letter reveals that Captain Andrew Belcher was apprehended in the Mahon Bay region with one of Phipps's ships just as Phipps was returning from the second effort, in which he formally did not locate as much silver. The research of Scott Clark. The team is on the verge of opening the door of Aladdin's cave, and everyone seated around the table is filled with high hopes about what might be inside the brothers. Sir William Phipps and Captain Andrew Belcher buried the missing Spanish treasure on Oak Island based on their knowledge of an existing vault that had been deposited in the money pit centuries earlier by members of the Knights Templar. The spike recovered in AC-1 along with the tools and bricks unearthed on Lot 5 could help explain why multiple treasures could be buried in the money pit area and suggest what might await them there. Rick and Marty Lena are conducting a massive excavation in the fabled money pit area of Oak Island, hoping to uncover answers to the 230-year-old treasure mystery. The team is working on a 7-foot diameter steel shaft called True Believer 1, which has reached a depth of nearly 100 feet. This shaft is believed to be located within the original money pit due to recent groundwater tests revealing high traces of precious metals below the 100 feet level. The team has also retrieved remnants of a mysterious wooden tunnel, which resembles the vault. A previous core drilling operation this year recovered possible evidence of the fabled Chappelle Vault, a 7-foot-high container first reported by treasure hunters Frederick Blair and William Chappelle back in 1897, as the TB1 shaft advances deeper towards the possible tunnel. An 18.5-ton tool known as a hammer grab is being used to bring the spoils and possibly man-made workings to the surface. The team is approaching the depth of the tunnel, and they are bringing out a lot of wood that looks like a tunnel. An interesting piece of wood has been found with grooves and a dowel, suggesting the same construction methodology as the U-shaped structure. The team is hopeful that the next scoop will be something hugely meaningful. The team is committed to finding the treasure in the TB1 area, which is thought to be the location of the original money pit. They are currently